gets me every time.
We're back, everybody.
We are back.
We are back, and we're joined by a special guest, the one and only Colby Boothman. How you doing?
Thanks for having me back.
Yeah, it's been quite. How long's it been? It's over a year now, isn't it?
Probably.
Yeah,
it's been a long year. I don't remember what's happened, where it's happened, and at the same time, it's been the fastest year of my life. So
yeah, it has been a crazy year as well.
It's been a proper crazy year. It's gone so much has happened, and like I feel like even with my job, like you think things were a year ago. In fact, they're now 2 years ago because that whole COVID situation is like might blows your mind a little bit.
mm-hmm.
How's things been your end?
Weird. I mean, I'm kind of back to traveling now, but I don't know how comfortable I am with it. But I've played a few DJ shows live, and that's been crazy. Like I went from doing absolutely nothing to getting vaccinated, waiting the 2 weeks, and then immediately going out to shows. And it's like going from seeing no one and interacting with masks and everything to being in a crowd of, 2,000 people, and there's not a mask in sight. And it's like, it's
crazy.
So normal that it's not normal.
Yeah.
It's weird. And I don't know that that's still the best thing, but here we are.
Yeah.
Still haven't stopped.
It's good in a way to try and get back to normality, really, but at the same time, it is still.
It's
difficult.
fun. I was in Florida for about a month. I went down for MetroCon, which is an anime convention, and they've got this massive rave. It's 100,000 square foot convention center hall that they just pack with, cosplayers and lasers and fog machines, and it's crazy.
That
does sound pretty awesome.
And while we were there, after that I went to Miami, and then one of the friends I was traveling with, she was vaccinated but got a breakthrough case of COVID. This was early on when we weren't quite sure about Delta. She was fine, but I had to quarantine with them at their place for another 2 weeks, and that was
long,
interesting. Yeah. But it was good. I got an extra 2-week vacation with my friends. Fortunately, she was okay, so all we did was just play video games, watch movie, and I had brought my VR headset, so we were just living the 2 weeks in VR. It's fun.
That actually sounds like a decent 2 weeks, to be honest.
It's good.
What was the convention like?
Chaotic. Like it was the first real convention back. So it was 2 years of everybody just waiting to go nuts. So everybody
let loose,
just went all out with their outfits. There was a lot of people there. It was everybody had been waiting, 2 years. They canceled the first one pretty early on, and was it 2 years? I don't remember. I can't remember anything anymore. Yeah, it was because they canceled one, and the previous one was 2 years ago, basically. So it was we all had to wait 2 years for that convention, and so we just went crazy. We had 2 rooms, and I think something like 17 friends with us. So we just got 2 massive suites, and we just crammed all of our friends into it. We had people coming in from all over, flying in. It was pretty nuts. And now that we can travel,
it's a nice relief, isn't it?
Yeah. Now that we can travel again, it's the same story. So everybody has all their travel funds that they hadn't spent the past couple of years. Fortunately, they've all been working and been able to do that. So then I went out to LA fairly recently, and one of my friends was like, "Oh, cool. I want to travel some more now. I'll go with you." And another one was like, "Well, I can work anywhere, so I'll go with you too." And then we had 8 friends fly out to LA for like 9 days, just on a whim. And it's so weird to be traveling like that again.
Yeah, I bet. I've not been. I've only been around the country, and that's it. I've not been away anywhere, especially certainly not obviously stateside. We've not been allowed, have we, Steve? I don't think we've been allowed across the
I don't think we're allowed to America. We're not even allowed to France, really.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
You have to, especially now we've had like the Brexit stuff. We have to sort of. There's a lot more other paperwork involved now as well. You can't just get on the boat and cross that we used to.
Yeah.
It's quite annoying, but. Well, I'm sure at least everyone's safe and well, and you've made the most of it anyway.
Trying to, yeah.
Right. So, everybody, the reason we got Colby on the show today is because Steve come up with a good idea of ranking a lot of the scenes throughout the Jurassic movies 1 to 5. So we thought we'll ask Colby on to help us sort of go through this process. It's a bit of fun. I'm sure we can bring our own opinions into it. And the chat, there is also the opportunity for you guys to comment away and do the poll system again, Steve, all right?
Yeah.
So if we ever kind of not sure where to place something, Steve will put the poll up and you guys in the chat can vote for us and help us out. So let's change the screen over. There we go. So the first scene we're going to talk about is this famous one from Jurassic Park. Shoot her!
So the very first scene in Jurassic Park.
Mm-hmm.
Where
that was a really cool scene because we never see the raptor, but the lighting is so cool in that scene. Like that is quintessential Spielberg lighting, where it
definitely is
hazy and you've got light coming through pinholes everywhere. That's what are our options?
So you've got cinematic masterpiece, you've got jaw-dropping or emotionally impactful, heartwarming / entertaining action, meh, it's okay, and what just happened.
We're gonna throw that in cinematic masterpiece. I think that's wow. I'm doing it heavy on the. See, it says cinematic.
Wow,
masterpiece
straight out the gate.
Is it my favorite scene from the Jurassic Park films? No. Wow. Is it my favorite scene from Jurassic Park? No. But is it cinematically a masterpiece? Yeah. That is quintessential Steven Spielberg in a nutshell.
Right. I think I might have to argue with this one on you on this one.
And I'm going to disagree.
I get what your points are. The only issue I have with it, I completely agree with the fact that it's perfect Spielbergian sort of filming, lighting, drama, trauma. It sets the scene for the Raptors really well. I remember when I was a kid, I thought that forklift truck was a dinosaur when it first started going through the trees. But I think the common senseness behind the scene of why did they not just tranquilize the raptor in the first place or keep the forklift up against the actual cage so it couldn't roll backwards? Makes me want to put it down a little bit.
Stupid things happen with stupid people, and we are left sitting, why on earth did that happen? And yet things still happen. So,
Steve, where do you sit on this?
Have you? I mean, you know how many Florida men there are?
Florida men.
Oh, has that meme made it across the pond yet?
Oh, no. I think I know what you're on about. Like Darwin's evolution, isn't it?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay, right.
Yeah, there's a lot of Darwin award going on in Florida. Yeah. People playing with bringing their pet alligator to the supermarket, that kind of thing.
Oh, right. Okay. Okay.
This is tough straight up because I was where you are, James. Like, it is a jaw-dropping scene, but Colby, your argument about it is classic Spielberg.
Spielberg.
Yeah, it is classic. Spielberg. Yeah, it is classic. I was saying it again now.
There's a lot of steel in that scene. I'll give it to you.
Yeah, that's it. It is a great scene, and it really does set it up for the whole film, doesn't it? I mean, we barely see a dinosaur in it. You just see like the shadows. There's so much action going on.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
do damage limitation. Look, it's definitely not that bottom one.
Yeah.
It's definitely better than meh. It's okay. It's definitely entertaining action though. There's nothing wrong with that. This category isn't necessarily worse than that category. It's just the emotion that you're going to get from it. So technically, they are on level pegging. It's just that, like entertaining action, you could class like some of the really cool scenes in Transformers as entertaining action. But
are they cinematic?
Yeah, but they're cinematic, but they're not cinematic masterpieces.
I can take a lot of the Avengers stuff. Yeah, they're entertaining and they're fun, but cinematically, like,
see, I would say
nobody's winning any Oscars
Avengers
for the cinematography on those films.
Yeah, let's just say like Avengers Endgame, that last scene against Thanos, that would be a cinematic masterpiece. But you know, just some other.
I don't know. Cinematic? I don't know if it's that cinematic.
You're a hard man to please, clearly. Right, so
it's all CGI.
Okay, I've put a vote up for the viewers, so we'll just give it a few minutes to see what they say.
All right, well, they're done now. I'm going to eat some yogurt.
Matty D said, it foreshadows Muldoon's reasons for not wanting Velociraptors, wanting tasers on full charge. Great introduction to Jurassic Park. I would put it in jaw-dropping. There's nothing wrong with it being jaw-dropping.
Jaw-dropping's fine. Yeah.
Okay.
Things that are jaw-dropping tend to be very cinematic, so I can adhere to that.
Right. Let's leave it there then to see where the chat goes.
The polls say jaw-dropping as well.
Okay, there it goes. Right, the next scene is
you know where that's going.
Brachiosaurus.
We don't even need to discuss this. Throw it at the top.
Well, hold on a minute.
No, there's no argument.
I put
Cinematic masterpiece.
Okay.
Ask the chat. We already know.
I put this in. I'm going to put it. Just hear me out. Hold on. It's not there. I put it in there because it's a jaw-dropping moment because it's the first time we see a dinosaur on screen.
All right. In terms of cinematic masterpieces, I can break that scene down, particularly the aspect ratio and the camera height was specifically designed around that scene. Spielberg chose the aspect ratio to have extra height for the dinosaurs so that we could see that, so that it felt massive and epic. I mean, that is a masterclass in cinema.
Right, you've swung my arm.
And not only that, the whole
arm
scene
is twisted.
The whole scene leading up to this moment is just a masterpiece in itself. The whole journey to the island, they're discussing in the Jeep, we've got the music coming. And then when you finally see that Brachiosaurus, it is just a masterpiece.
That's one of the best reveals in cinema.
Yeah.
It was decent. It was very good.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're moving on.
Yeah, I believe the poll agrees.
We're moving on to the famous boardroom scene where Jeff Goldblum makes his famous speech. See, for me, this like the chemistry on screen on this scene, like it just felt so real, didn't it?
Yeah, it was good acting.
I'd say
like,
it's
not classed as cinematic, is it?
No.
I wouldn't say it's jaw-dropping. It's definitely heartwarming. I don't know if heartwarming is the word for it, but I feel like that's a good place for it.
What, in this one?
In the scope of Jurassic Park, I think it's a good scene. With good writing.
Yeah. It's very, very good writing, and it kind of sets the exposition for the whole, for the whole of the actual place. Because up until this point,
it's not jaw-dropping. I'll say that.
No.
Yeah,
I'd
say up until this moment, we're on the journey, aren't we? And it's not until we sit in this room that we actually realise, oh yeah, it actually isn't. It isn't as glamorous as we actually think it is. There's all these other issues that we've never even thought about, because in our heads, watching on screen, we just want to see the dinosaurs. We can't wait to see these dinosaurs. And after seeing that Brachiosaurus, it's almost like, you know, the Wizard of Oz curtain, almost, you know?
Mm-hmm.
I'd
say, yeah, it is entertaining.
Yeah.
Like the whole speech.
The scene is there to move story.
But it's emotionally impactful because Ellie and, you know, Ian are very passionate about what they're talking about.
No, it's emotionally impactful. I would be okay with it being there. I just feel like there's so many good moments. As we get through these, they're just going to be stacked across the top of the board.
Yeah. Oh, I know. Apart from, I guarantee there'll be a few Jurassic Park 3 moments down the bottom here. Don't worry about it too much. Where are we? The thing is, these muddle up all the time. Emotionally impactful. Right, okay, moving on. The Weird Sickly Triceratops. 2 dinosaurs and 1 sick Triceratops.
Good scene. We see, is this... I'm trying to think where this is in animatronic. Is that the first animatronic that we see?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's obviously a heartwarming and entertaining scene.
Yeah, it's a tough one, this.
Yeah. There's a lot there, because that was like the first animatronic. So that's what we see that is more realistic than when we first see the dinosaurs, because they're touching the dinosaur. It's there, it's living. Whereas the previous shots were CGI.
Yeah. Me personally, I think I would, as much as it belongs in heartwarming as well, because it's, you know, you're with these characters enjoying this amazing moment. It also could fall under jaw dropping as well, because the actual reaction of them seeing this animal in the flesh up close, and you know, Alan Grant going on his back and in the breathing and stuff, like that's the sort of once in a lifetime thing, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
You know?
It is tough,
also, it gets extra points for the photo of Spielberg with the Triceratops that went viral.
Yeah, everyone saying that it's how dare he shoot a real Triceratops.
Cinematic masterpiece. To be honest, we could put the entirety of Jurassic Park in the cinematic masterpiece. This really talents of the actors too.
That's it. Like we're stacking and comparing cinematic masterpieces against one another. So
yeah, that's why I tried to create these other categories to kind of, just, I guess, to say where we'd place these, because
we could throw it in jaw dropping.
Yeah, it's quite emotionally impactful as well.
Yeah,
you know, this dinosaur.
It's a cinematic masterpiece for any other film.
Yeah.
Compared to some of the other shots in Jurassic Park, maybe not.
Yeah. What's the chat saying, Steve? Oh, we'll move on.
Cinematic masterpiece, emotionally impactful. So,
kind of in the same sort of way.
Yeah. Again, like we're now comparing to this shot with the T-Rex. Yeah. Obviously, that's cinematic masterpiece.
Yeah, 100%.
That's my thinking, because you would naturally put that in there, because this is one of the most spoken about scenes in movie history, and like not even in the Jurassic fandom, it just in general, like this is one of the scenes that if you said to a stranger that's maybe seen the movies once, what scene do you remember? It'll probably be this one.
Yeah.
So yeah, for me that's a no-brainer.
Yeah, and in fact it can go in all 3 categories really, because it's a cinematic masterpiece. It was jaw-dropping. It was entertaining action.
Yeah, I should have made more of these, shouldn't I?
Yeah. But no, easy decision there.
Easy. Now we've got. I've put Nedry's. This is obviously the Dilophosaurus scene, but I guess you can include Nedry stealing the embryos as that part of that whole entire scene.
Yeah, that's. It's not super emotional, but it's very, very entertaining.
Yeah.
It's one of my favorite scenes, but I wouldn't call it jaw-dropping or cinematic masterpiece. So I would put that under entertaining action. I mean, that's the purpose of it, is to be suspenseful and entertaining.
Yeah, I think I agree with that.
I agree.
Sweet, that was a nice easy one. Some of these are like you can fly through, and some of them are like
really have a debate over.
Entertaining action, lovely. Right, so moving on, we are at the Petticoat Lane scene. I guess you kind of can put this in the same sort of category as the boardroom one, because a lot of emotions are flying at this point, aren't they? You know, Ellie, John tells his story of the flea circus.
There were some stories behind this that I can't recall off the top of my head.
And you know, Ellie's going, you know, like this. It's all a flea circus. It's all an illusion.
Yeah, you don't know the power of this place, and
that power's out.
If I recall, the ice cream is supposed to represent the childlike mentality of Hammond.
It was all melting.
It's a tough category to put it in, isn't it? It's
spared no expense,
because it is fairly like an emotional, impactful film, like scene in the film. But at this,
it's also a bit heartwarming.
It's emotionally impactful. It's hard. It's
because you kind of feel sorry for him at this point. At this point, you think he's like your granddad, isn't he? Like
his whole project has just gone up in smoke that he spent all his time and money on. Like his greatest passion in life has just fallen apart.
Obvious. The scene actually makes the audience realize how in denial John is. See, to me, this is heartwarming. Getting an insight into a little of Hammond's past. I was going to say little Hammond.
I'd be happy with either emotionally or heartwarming. Either of those two categories, really.
I think.
Can we put it in the middle?
Where'd you fall, Colby? Where'd you fall on that? What one?
The middle.
Middle one. Okay.
I don't know if we can put it in the middle there.
No, in between.
Heartwarming. It kind of. Like it is heartwarming, but I'd say it's more. I don't know. I think I'm going for more emotionally impactful.
You know what? Just put a new category in there, right in the middle.
Yeah.
Or change one. Get rid of meh is okay, and just put another one in.
Yeah, I mean, how many meh scenes even are there in the franchise?
Okay. JP3, there might be one or two.
Yeah, we're getting there.
Yeah.
We'll find out.
We'll find out when we cross that bridge. Okay.
Again, just top of the board.
Yeah, easy.
For a million reasons. Cinematography, one of the most suspenseful scenes ever. And then just the technical feat of what ILM did for the CGI. I mean, that's years of development of CGI just for this film, just to create this.
Yeah. Like another thing, like on top of that, you've also got the fact that I don't think another Raptor scene has felt as suspenseful in all of the 9 movies. 5 movies, sorry. So, you know, even we've had the night scene in Jurassic World, it was not as suspenseful as this. Like this is almost like the Godfather of, you know, terrifying scenes. This is straight out of like Alien and, you know, proper old school.
Well, so the only person who could actually have an opinion is actually you, Colby. Were you more scared?
Oh, I was absolutely terrified watching this.
Yeah. Not being face to face with the 4 raptors in.
Yeah. This is a very relatable scene. In fact, you know, it gives me a lot of trauma just rewatching this scene.
Yeah, it brings back
lots of memories.
Haunting memories.
Lots of memories of dancers in gray leotards with bicycle helmets chasing me around in the middle of New Orleans. I mean, yes, dinosaurs.
Yeah.
Right, so we're agreeing that this is the masterpiece one. We agreeing with that?
Oh, yes. I think
we're going for entertaining action.
That's Unanimously cinematic masterpiece.
Okie dokie. Right. Then we've got this bad boy. When dinosaurs ruled the earth.
See, this is what we just like that still is a art. This is why it's really hard to compare things.
Yeah.
I
mean, it's at the very least jaw-dropping.
Yeah, I was just about to say, when I watched this whole scene leading up to the end with the, when the T-Rex came in, killing the raptors and does that scream, it was just jaw-dropping.
Yeah, it did make you go...
Yeah, like you did not expect.
When dinosaurs ruled the earth come tumbling down, like there's so much going on there.
Yeah, it's such a good scene.
Yeah. Right, let's put that in jaw-dropping then.
In the history of film, I would put that at cinematic masterpiece. In terms of Jurassic Park, I would put it in jaw-dropping.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with that. Actually, that's a good analogy, really, because, on another day, you could easily put that in there. If I didn't have jaw-dropping there as an option, it would be there.
Yeah.
It's just that,
If this was a list of a whole bunch of films and we were comparing other films and that just popped up, we would put it in cinematic masterpiece.
Yeah, I agree with that.
But yeah.
Right. So
this is the curve of the scale on this one.
Yeah. Right, we're up to the Lost World. So we are going to just have a quick 5-second break and we'll be back. Hello there.
Hello there.
So we are now on to the Lost World, Jurassic World.
Oh, I thought we were going to dip into Star Wars after that intro.
The 1997 blockbuster hit. So we are joined here by the Stegosaurs I guess when they first arrive on the island after Sarah Harding trying to look and find her after she's gone missing. So she's on an expedition. So are we... where are we placing this?
I guess jaw-dropping for that film.
Yeah. I felt it was quite entertaining action.
Yeah, it's entertaining. Yeah, entertaining action. Okay. Yeah, I'd be okay with that.
Yeah, I wouldn't put it as, when I saw this, I wouldn't put it as like jaw-dropping. And
no.
It's very... like
compared to other films, jaw-dropping in terms of Jurassic Park franchise, entertaining.
I guess there's an element of this one where you could say it is jaw-dropping because, the actors themselves are like, oh my God, wow. And then Malcolm goes, that's all this starts. And later there's running and screaming. So it's kind of like
that's entertainment though.
Yeah, his dialogue kind of then changes from jaw-dropping to making it entertaining and funny. So they're just protecting their baby. Yeah, so am I. So I feel like this part could be classed as entertaining action.
That's where I'd put it.
Yeah.
Yeah, agreed?
Yep.
Yeah.
Excellent. Right. Boys, we're quite good at this.
Yeah,
I thought this would be a lot harder than it is. Chris actually brought up a great scene from Jurassic Park, which I did leave out, but I've not done that by accident. There's a lot of scenes I could have left out, but I think we'd end up just having Jurassic Park all up in these sections, and there'd be too many.
Yeah, there's so much that we could choose from.
Many. Yeah,
and we'll be here for about 4 or 5 hours.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What I love about the scene is how it shows us the first time how dinosaurs are caring parents. Just shows them for being animals and not silver screen monsters. Entertaining for me. Well, there you go. One of my
favorite shots from Jurassic Park is Sam Jackson. He's got like the cigarette in his mouth, looking at the computer screens right after they've been hacked. Like that shot. Yeah. That's one of my favorites.
Access means security. Access means program grid.
Please.
Take this hacker grab. Right. So moving on to the, what do you call that? The game trail. scene.
Yeah, that's a cool shot. Very technical.
I want that camp up and ready in 30 minutes.
I wouldn't say jaw-dropping. I appreciate it for the technicality of it. There's a lot going on in that shot.
It's chaotic.
A lot of Jurassic Park scenes, they'll be jaw-dropping and cinematic, but they're, for the most part, simple. We're looking at trees, good angles, and good lighting. This is where one of the few shots in the entire franchise where there's a lot of technical movement going on and a lot of moving parts. So you have multiple vehicles, lots of people. It's something that we actually seldom see in the films. I would almost call the Jurassic Park films contained in a sense.
Yeah.
And this is where we start to see a wider world to the films.
It's this is shot in California somewhere, I think. Actually, this shot, because there's a guy on Facebook that lives around the area, and he goes to all these little areas where they film. But I like there's another shot in this where the motorcyclist goes through the legs of the Mamenchisaurus.
Yeah,
I think it's called Mamenchisaurus. Yeah. Which I think is really cool.
Definitely, I would put it in entertaining.
Yeah,
Matt,
from a technical. I mean, even from like a technical perspective, this is a very complex shot.
Yeah, it's a toy commercial, isn't it?
Yeah,
really. Yeah, actually,
it's a toy commercial. Get your new Jurassic Park, the Lost World toys.
It's not Grogu level of marketing, but it's really solid.
It's up there.
And you got the first time you see Roland Tembo as well. Peter, you want me to run this little camping trip of yours? And it's just brilliant. He just already is such a badass. He just loves the character already instantly.
Yeah. And awesome the Pachycephalosaurus just headbutting that bloke through the
vehicle. Through the car.
Yeah.
There
you go. That's the one.
Well, there it is. Right, so we are moving on to the next scene, which is Sarah breaking the glass, which was so tense.
That's at least jaw-dropping.
Yeah.
Cinematically, what that does, that's a very stressful scene. And it's well shot. It's a complicated shot. From a cinematic, like a technical perspective, there's a lot going on here.
Let's just think of everything that is like. You've got the tension. You've got the the drama. You've got what's going on with Eddie up the top with the car.
Yeah.
There's the different perspectives of when the T-Rexes arrive and try to destroy the car. You've got the death scene. You've got the scene, the trailer going straight across, and the shot of it going past them as they're holding on. I just think this whole scene is just top drawer. The only thing that lets it down is the jokes and the cheeseburgers and stuff.
Yeah.
But
this part, like the glass, when you can do something that's suspenseful and quick with lots of action, it's less impressive. When you can do something that's
up there,
suspenseful and slow, that's difficult.
For me, I've got it in Masterpiece. I just think
I'm cool with that. Yeah,
it's one of the most memorable scenes from The Lost World.
Yeah, it's a masterclass in filmmaking too. Anything where I can point to as like a reference point in cinema history for someone, particularly artists in film, to learn from, that's a cinematic masterpiece.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
Excellent. Sorry, Matt. He put jaw dropping, which it does fall under that category as well. Yeah. Right, we've got Dieter's death. From the very moment he goes for a number one or number two. Hey, Carter.
Entertaining.
Yeah.
It's got to be in it.
It's a fun scene, yeah.
And the compies get their revenge on him.
Yeah. We discussed this last week, didn't we? When we were discussing the dinos, that it's such a stupid death.
Yeah. Is it under meh? It's okay then? Or do you think it's a bit better than that? It's more entertaining action.
It's entertaining.
Yeah, it is entertaining. You can see him trying to fight it off, and you can see how they're working together, and all the compies. Just it is a good little action scene.
Do you know what? There's a bit where it's latched onto his lip, and I'm just like, oh, and he rips it off.
Just tries and pulls it off.
It's like, oh, no. It's and the use of animatronics, I think, in all the little puppets, I think, are really clever in this as well.
Yeah,
really well done. So we're all in agreement. Lovely, entertaining and satisfying to see Dieter to get his comeuppance. Entertaining for me. Wonderful. So we are now moving on to the T-Rex attack on the camp. Definitely entertaining.
Yeah, I was going to say this probably falls into the entertaining category.
Yeah,
there's a lot that goes on in this, isn't there? You got the bit where obviously you got the fear factor from the moment he sticks his head in the tent, and you're just like, whoa. And then after that, you got Carter getting squished, and people scattering everywhere like rodents, and so you're both falling on the entertainment for this one.
Yeah,
definitely.
Sweet. Where are we? There we are. Entertaining action. Wonderful. There we go. We've got this wonderful scene now. Not into the long grass.
I thought this was quite jaw-dropping, really. Just seeing how...
Don't remember the logo being in the shot.
No.
It's the only one I could get that wasn't cropped into portrait mode.
Yeah,
that's
the only one I could get. Shot. Jaw-dropping, maybe. It's definitely one of the best shots.
It's a jaw-dropping shot.
Just seeing the movement of the grass, especially when I love the bird's eye, where you see them walking and you see the grass moving in on them.
Yeah, it's just how quiet that whole scene is until everything breaks loose.
Yeah, and then you've got the other guy, ain't you, as well? What's he called? The one that goes towards the screen. He's like, and then the raptor kills him. So where are we placing this then?
I'd say
jaw dropping. Yeah.
Steve, happy with that?
Yeah, happy.
All right.
Great composition in that shot.
Jaw-dropping scene. Wonderful. Right, this is the incident on the boat. What actually happened? It's quite a controversially discussed scene, this one.
Yeah.
Entertaining?
Because the initial... Could this one be the first one that goes into what just happened? LOL. What just happened?
Because we never do know what escaped and killed all the people on the boat. I mean, was it the T-Rex? But the T-Rex was trapped in the cargo bay.
Yeah, I mean, we don't know what happened.
Chris says no one knows what just happened.
I wouldn't say it's a bad choice. We just don't know what happened.
Yeah, it's almost like
It's hard to put it there in red because it kind of it deserves to be removed on its own. Because we don't know what happened. It's a little confusing, but also believable because dinosaurs.
Yeah.
We could make what just happened stroke controversial. I can't spell it. Maybe spell it.
I'm okay with it being there.
There you go, controversial. What just happened?
There was definitely some fun scenes after that I wasn't.
100%. Definitely.
I wasn't expecting the film. I just kind of expected it to end, and it's an epilogue to the movie.
Yeah.
Like this.
So we're now in San Diego now.
Yeah.
For me, this is entertainment from the moment it starts to the moment it finishes. It's probably one of my favourite scenes in the whole film.
Oh, definitely one of my favorite scenes in the whole film.
I'm going to go with more jaw-dropping, just because, because it's the first time we're seeing these dinosaurs in an environment that we're all used to.
Mm-hmm.
So you're seeing the size of the T-Rex against buildings, shops, and everything.
Yeah.
It was just jaw-dropping.
Jaw-dropping.
I
that think lighting is great.
Yeah. I love. Do you know what I really loved about this scene is, especially as a kid, it really like spiked my imagination. This enabled me to sort of get more of an idea of scale. I used to like walking down the street. I'd be like seeing a traffic light saying a T-Rex's head could reach that and bite that and twist it, and like the way it was filmed really give me an essence of scale next to a bus, for example, as well.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, whoa. And then you had the scene later on where he goes into the back garden of that house, and you're just like, Christ, you look out your window, T-Rex's head would be the height of your upstairs window. I don't know, it just, for me, it was entertaining, but it made such an impact as a 12-year-old. Yeah. Oh, he's gone. No. I wonder if his phone's died. Sorry, guys. He will be back, hopefully.
Yeah.
So where do you want to put this? We'll continue to. Oh, there he is. He's back. He's back.
Got disconnected for a moment.
Yeah. I thought your phone died on us.
No.
Yeah.
Right. So
got to be jaw-dropping.
Yeah, jaw-dropping.
Jaw-dropping. Okay. I am happy with that because it's only making it better, isn't it?
It's a lot of work to do those type of shots too.
Yeah.
Right, and then we have life will find a way at the end.
It was very heartwarming, this end.
What a amazing animal as well, though. That is definitely hands down my favourite pteranodon out of everyone.
Mm-hmm. I mean, like the way that you can see the veins.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The translucent wings as they would be.
Yeah.
That's
just seeing that whole end scene is just amazing. Just seeing them three wandering around.
And this was like what? 1997?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just crazy, isn't it?
The visual effects are superb.
It's incredible.
Matt, just for the record, I do kind of agree with you. I would have put it in entertainment, but these two really, really liked the idea of it being in jaw-dropping, so we went with that option. Very impactful scene, and it is very touching to see them living in peace without our interference. So,
yeah, I put heartwarming, entertaining.
Yeah. Just
I think it's the best pteranodon of the franchise.
Do you know what? Yeah. Do you know what's interesting is that I never predicted ever to the heartwarming, entertaining option being for this actual scene. For some reason, I thought everyone would just go cinematic masterpiece because of the way it's shot and the dialogue of Hammond over the top. That's not me trying to influence. That's just how I thought the process would go. But heartwarming, These creatures will require our absence to survive. And all that sort of talk. So, I'm happy with that. Heartwarming and entertaining.
Mm-hmm.
And the nice cue of the music at the end.
Perfect.
Right. So I think, guys, we are up to Jurassic Park 3. And we'll be back in 10 seconds. I love how during the break, Colby, you're getting like a cheeky spoon in.
I got it. I'm fencing after this, so I got to get my little snacks in and get ready to go fence after.
Brilliant. Right, so we have the Ben Hildebrand scene. Now, this could be meh, it's okay. But also, what happened to these guys on the boat? Like, what killed them? How did they crash?
It's just no explanation at all, is there?
No.
I mean, it was a good choice, I think, but I still have no idea what happened.
No, it could have been done so much better, which is frustrating. I mean, if they would have, I think we discussed this week, James, if in that scene in the mist, if you'd either had, say, a Pteranodon's shadow just flying out the scene.
That would have been cool. Yeah.
Or if it's the Spinosaurus, just a slight little shot of the sail going underwater.
Yeah.
And disappearing. That's all you needed. And it
that would have been cool.
So many questions.
Like Jack Ewins made a 3-hour fan edit of blending The Lost World and Jurassic Park 3 together. And it's really well done. He's done a really good job of it. But what he's done is he's edited some of the scenes. He cut out a lot of Amanda Kirby screams and added in the smoke and the mist. He added in the Spinosaurus because in his head canon, that's what happened. Basically, purely down to the fact that in the script, I think that in the script, the pteranodons were meant to be the ones, but obviously them being in the cage, it then didn't make sense. It retconned that and didn't make sense. So the Spinosaurus is the next, I guess, option. I'll have to turn this thing down.
Yeah.
The next option. So I don't know really. Just weird. What happened? What actually happened?
Yeah, it's
That's
got
a
to
good
be
place for it.
Yeah, controversial. What happened?
What the hell just happened? What is going on? Right. The Spinosaurus attack of the plane.
It's quite entertaining.
It is when Nash starts screaming. Yeah.
I don't think it's worthy of cinematic masterpiece purely for the poor CGI.
And the animatronic moves like...
Yeah.
It's just not for me.
Definitely action.
Yeah, it was slightly jaw-dropping when you first see the Spinosaurus, but it's more entertaining action than it is jaw-dropping.
Yeah, I think there's better shots later in the movie than this one. Definitely entertaining, especially like when the Kirby's, when Paul Kirby jumps out of the plane and goes, and then runs back inside. just some really funny scenes in that.
Is the airplane shot in there? The dream sequence?
No.
Oh no. We always miss something out. We do it every tier ranking. We always miss an important scene out, and the Alan.
Right, I'll tell you what. Let's talk about this for a while I'm on the hunt.
I'm sure there's a meme somewhere that you can pull.
Yeah.
Now, this was jaw-dropping for the wrong reasons. The T-Rex should never have been killed that easy.
Yeah.
I'm with you on that.
But is it level with the other stuff in that category? I mean,
no.
Move the image, James. What other stuff we got in jaw-dropping?
I'd put it in entertaining action.
Yeah.
It is an action shot, isn't it? And it kind of sets up, like, as much as it's not to our liking as being huge T-Rex fans, it does set up the Spinosaurus as being the main villain of this movie. And we get to see a nice... I think the CGI here is, like, superb as well. I'm not going to lie.
With the little compies running
around. It's very wide, though. And I like when these battle shots have some closer angles. Like, had they done some shots underneath,
Yeah.
Instead of just a wide.
Yeah, you get a full perspective of the battle going on, don't you?
Yeah.
In fact,
I feel like we're a little removed from it.
I feel like these models are actually that good. They almost look like they're like little plastic models being posed. The CGI is so good in that shot.
Because if we're like to compare it to a similar shot, we could talk about the T-Rex and Indominus Rex, and
Yeah.
and I don't think that shot compares to that.
No. Now we can argue the T-Rex and Indominus later and see where we can put it.
We'll get there. I'm not going to touch it. All I want to say is like I'm comparing it to the two.
Yeah.
I don't think it was as good of a fight.
No. So I'm happy with entertaining action.
Mm-hmm.
Sweet. Where are we now? We are on this one.
Was that the aviary?
No, that is.
Where's that? Let me zoom in.
The worker village where
the compound where they go and see the thing.
Right.
And he kicks the vending machine.
Yeah. Big Eric's in there, bet my bottom dollar. And they the raptor attacks them and chases them into the cages. And this is kind of the first time we see the actual facility of InGen, like what they actually did behind the closed doors, and the embryonic chambers, and
it was cool, entertaining,
really cool airy scene. Nice. I think the music's great, and then you've got the bit where the raptors chase them into the trees.
I think it was good world building. I'd put it in entertaining.
Yeah, it is entertaining. There's a few bits in there, like with the raptor just freezing behind the embryo, like the cryogenic chamber, and then suddenly jumping out. It
adds a lot of lore to the franchise too.
Yeah,
so it's not a cinematic masterpiece.
No, definitely not.
It's not jaw-dropping or emotional. No. So heartwarming or entertaining action.
Entertaining, at least. Yeah.
Okie dokie. Right. What about this one?
What just happened?
What just
I love the fact that he's sitting there with his little hot hands up on the chair.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's put his tray table up.
Love that. Brilliant.
Yeah. Yeah, that's got to be what? WTF.
Yep.
Right. I've not actually been
definitely
able to
a very controversial scene.
Yeah.
So we're going to put that. I don't think I can make it any smaller, actually. No. So that's going to be down the bottom.
Yeah. We'll remember it.
We know where it goes.
We know where it goes. Discussion. The most important thing was that we discussed it.
Yep.
With a nice little image of our little mate. Must I say, though, that is the best raptor, I think.
It is.
It's a great raptor.
Yeah, it's the fact that Alan Grant dreamed about the raptor that he's never seen before.
Yeah.
Yeah. Brilliant. Right, so that goes there. Where are we? There, we're moving on to the Pteranodon sequence.
Oh, this is amazing.
Yeah.
For me, it's cinematic masterpiece.
Yeah, I'd say so.
Yeah.
And that is well done. In just an intense scene.
It's just so well done, isn't it?
Yeah.
I think dream sequence should be deleted from every copy of the movie in existence. Kill it.
Some things just don't work out the way they intended.
No. Yeah, so we agreed with
cinematic masterpiece. Yeah, 100%. Then we've got the Riverbank scene. Forget the dodgy looking face on that.
Yeah.
It's quite a nice. It's almost trying to parallel the Welcome to Jurassic Park.
Yeah, just not as well, which I think it's okay.
I'm gonna go with meh.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. We've seen it.
I wouldn't be that harsh.
In the grand scope of the franchise, it's cool.
But at the same time, it's just a couple of minute filler in the film.
Right, okay. I'm going to be a little bit of a devil's advocate, right? Yeah, this is where I was heading. Because just before then...
Yeah.
What?
In terms of storyline, definitely heartwarming.
They were talking about, him and Eric were talking about Billy and being an astronaut, and all he wanted to do was see these animals in the flesh. And then Eric was like, I think Billy was right. And it's, this is why we're alive, to see, to take these risks to get your satisfaction from stuff. I kind of thought like their chat about Billy was quite emotional and heartwarming. That's why I would place it there. Colby, dude, what the F?
Okay, heartwarming. It's been a while since I've seen this, but
I wish we didn't get copyright and I could play all these scenes just to make this discussion.
Heartwarming. I'm cool with heartwarming. In terms of storyline, I think it's exactly what the story needed.
Yeah.
So in terms of
a break,
the scene itself, comparing scenes to other scenes, it's hard because this is a very necessary shot in a script. It has a purpose. It serves its purpose very well.
Yeah.
So it's really hard for me to debate it as a sequence standing alone. In terms of a storyline, it's well done. But that's decent writing there.
Well, the polls come back and they're all saying heartwarming. So
heartwarming it is.
Heartwarming.
Yeah, I have no problem putting it there.
Yeah.
I'm trying. We got to get some diversity.
Yeah. I'm still going with it's okay, by the way.
Oh, that's quite a shot.
Yeah. I think this I felt was jaw-dropping.
Jaw-dropping, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, the composition of that shot alone, the framing of it, the rain, the way that it's drawing your eye line to the boat. One, it's a cool scene and it's suspenseful, but the composition of that is very well done.
Yeah.
The lighting, they shot this shadow side, which is hard to do in a scene like this.
Yeah. I would agree.
A bit of an awkward silence there, weren't there? I was kind of in awe of my jaw drop. Looking at
are you jaw dropping as well, James?
Yeah, because I was kind of, when I was listening to Colby just sort of talking then, I was sort of saying, like, I was just looking at the shot and just more thinking about the technical side of the CGI and the rain. It fools you, doesn't it, to believing that that's there because of how well it's shot. And it took the note out of the Jurassic Park breakout scene and used that lighting, the black, the white, the rain contrast. Like, everything about this is so Jurassic Park that when that thin drop comes out, it's almost like that Jaws moment, isn't it?
Yeah.
And, you just knew, things were going to happen from this moment. So
yeah,
I'm with you. Jaw dropping memento. All right. I feel like Colby wants to say something about this moment.
It's just one of those scenes that kind of just makes you sigh.
I love that. I love that fan edit. What just happened?
Yeah, meh.
What? Not even what just happened.
I mean, I could put it there too.
Yeah, but at the same time,
we've not got any mares, have we?
Yeah.
But would you say this scene is better than the Billy?
I would say meh.
Billy one at the beginning.
I don't really care for it story-wise.
I think they underutilized this. I think he shouldn't have done it. I think Eric should have done it. And because I think that's more something a kid would do.
Yeah. Yeah.
I like it the way Kirby goes, no, call for help. Like he's just like, yeah, all right.
Yeah. So stupid.
And that wasn't that 3D printed?
Yeah.
Points for the futurism.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
when was that?
should we put this in cinematic masterpiece then?
No, there's not one for technologically masterful.
Yeah, I don't.
The thing is, you can't put it in entertaining, although it's entertaining now. But for it to be as entertaining, you've got to kind of have that as an immediate reaction.
From the film, it's not particularly entertaining. The memes are entertaining.
Yeah.
What the internet has done with it, but that doesn't count.
No. Now stick with meh.
Okie dokie. Oh, where are we? There we go. Oh, we're moving on, guys. We are done with Jurassic Park 3, and we will be back in 10 seconds.
More yogurt.
So Colby has been replaced by a fan. Oh, there he is. He's back.
Look, I'm always trying to give the fans the best representation in this franchise that they can get.
Done.
Right, so Jurassic World. Welcome to Jurassic World. First time, guys, that we see the park open, running. It just looks absolutely stunning.
Yeah.
And somewhere that I want to go. You've even got the Spinosaurus skeleton there. There's people having drinks in Margaritaville and Winston's. It's just,
it's a cinematic masterpiece.
Yeah, cinematic masterpiece. Also, the music, the score that Michael did was incredible to that.
Yeah, it's in our probably in our top 3, Steve, isn't it?
Yeah.
Cinematic.
That was like the Jurassic Park is back scene.
Yeah. Don't want to wait anymore.
Yeah. Right, so at least we all agreed there.
Seeing that, the first time that I saw Jurassic World was at the world premiere. They had done some screenings that I could have attended, and I just didn't make it out to those. I wasn't in Los Angeles at the time, or New Orleans, where they showed it. So I saw it at the premiere, and seeing that, like for the first time at the Dolby Theater in Los Angeles, is where they do the Oscars and everything. So it's just a world-class cinema. Oh my God.
Is it
incredible?
Colby, is it really strange, like working on something and not actually seeing anything else while you're doing those scenes, and then going into this? Are you just as blown away as like the fans are?
For this? Yeah.
Yeah, when this all comes together.
Absolutely was. Because I was super excited when they had announced that they were going to do another Jurassic Park before I was ever cast in the film.
Yeah.
And so I was looking forward to it. And when something gets announced, there's always that level of hesitancy. It's like, oh, I hope they don't screw this up.
Yeah.
That's
what we were all saying.
There's that level of nervousness going into it. And working on it, like once I got on set, I still had that like, you have that same hesitancy. And then the moment I got on set, I was like, this movie's going to be insane. Like my first experience on set outside of going to NASA, getting all my thumb. I had to do full background checks. I had to do thumbprints, full like palm prints. The security was insane because we were working on a NASA facility. We all had to have U.S. government IDs just to be able to work on the film. Which is insane for any movie or any
Jack
project.
Joined, says, "Hey Colby, how you doing?" Pterodome.
Hello.
Jack, Pterodome 3000. He's one of the canon consultants in the
cool.
Theorem. Yeah, he has a little bit of a hand in the backstory.
Awesome.
Yeah.
But and going into this film, I still had that hesitancy, and then as soon as I got on set and I saw the Mercedes Jeeps driving around, and the sheer scale of the paddock was like, it's like just a weight off the chest. Like, this movie's going to be insane. I don't have to worry about whether or not it's going to be a good movie.
How long did you have to have an NDA for?
Huh?
How long did you have to sign an NDA for? Like, not be able to say anything?
As the moment I had to sign, I don't think I had to sign an NDA to read for it, but the moment I was cast in it, they sent over the contract and non-disclosure agreement. Because all of the auditions were actually done under a working title, Ebb Tide. So a lot of people didn't even know what they were reading for. I was fortunate enough to have, a good team around me, so that way I knew what it was. It was very hot on set. It was the middle of the summer in Louisiana. Our makeup was like melting off our faces. They would bring out production assistants with umbrellas. After, like, every time you heard cut, production assistants would come out with umbrellas to keep the sun off our faces, just so that we weren't sweating in every single take.
Crazy.
Keep our makeup from melting down onto our costumes.
But you mean this wasn't in Hawaii anywhere? Damn. Right. Brilliant. Like, this one, just very Jurassic Park feel, I think.
Yeah. Jaw dropping. I would be okay with it being there.
You kind of see the Indominus in the background, don't you? And it
sets
the scene. It's almost like it's giving you that what's the word? Exposition.
Mm-hmm.
She's trying to do what Muldoon did with the Raptor pen.
Yep. And so this, from a technical perspective, if you were to actually be on set looking out that window, it looks nothing like what you're seeing on camera. So the lens that they're using is actually, it's a longer lens. So they're drawing the background in. It was really clever. I think was it John Schwartzman that was our director of photography? He did a brilliant job shooting this. This was very planned out. The trees are actually spaced out in the distance. If you were to be there, it would not look as dense of a jungle as it appears on camera. It was a smart decision to use a longer focal length. This looks, I'd say, at least an 80 millimeter to be able to get this shot. Phenomenal cinematography. This was shot very well.
So do you think that, so basically these trees here, it looks like it's thick, dense jungle, but in fact it's
not.
Just like
it's very thin, but they're spread out.
trees, but like an optical illusion almost. Yep. Wow, that's so clever, isn't it?
Crazy, isn't it?
Yeah. Great. And so what you do is you get that very how do I describe this? In animation, you would call it parallaxing, where as you move around, things are moving at different distances. They're setting it up almost like animation, where they're staggering things at certain distances, knowing that they're zooming in, so that way it moves very cinematically. If you were to stack all these on top of one another to make a jungle, it would look flat. They're giving it depth by separating the plants and then using a longer lens.
It's crazy. Oh, James on mute. No, it's still on mute, James.
So none of these would have been CGI at all, or maybe just a couple in the background.
Yeah, I believe that's all that's practical. Oh. They brought in a lot of plants on set, I'll tell you.
That's excellent.
They brought in, just for the Raptor paddock, I think they brought in 50, 100-foot coconut palms. They're not native to the area. I have no idea how they got them there. They're just, I look around and there are these massive planters with gigantic palm trees everywhere. It's crazy.
It's mental.
Right, so we're moving on to, okay, folks, she's a little shy, so give her a hand when she comes out. So,
jaw dropping.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just, I remember like, it's a shame I think that the trailer ruined this scene for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, the trailer sold a lot of people on this,
and
on the movie too.
I don't think it overly helped that they changed the CGI of the animal. The CGI of the animal improved as the trailers went on, so it kind of lost the magic a bit. But I remember seeing it straight away in the trailer, and I was like, "Oh my god!"
Yeah,
like that was a jaw-dropping moment.
Yeah, it's cool, and it's supposed to be, you know, for you know, the kids too, because this is what really got. What's his character's name?
What one? Sorry.
Nick's character. I can't remember his name.
Zach.
Yeah, Zach. This is what got Zach's attention.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, so I agree.
Just so for people that have just joined the chat, here is how we've ranked everything so far. If you can see it, okay, that bottom one there, if you can't quite see, is the T-Rex breaking out onto the boat, as we don't know what actually happened. Jack said, for me, this is way more interesting than Jurassic World Evolution 2. Well, we've got to compete with Jeff Goldblum, and Colby's the man. So,
James, before we carry on, you forgot to add in the previous one, into entertaining.
Did I?
Yeah.
Entertaining.
There we go.
Entertaining action. Oh, yeah. Okay. So where are we placing this one? It's very cinematic.
I put it in jaw-dropping.
Yeah.
But I do, the fairest thing is probably to do jaw-dropping, actually, I think.
And the fact that they're dropping jaws into.
Yeah. Okay, for that reason, it's going in there. Okay, the Lapstar. Hello there. Hello there.
Hello there.
Welcome to the stream. Right, so we have next.
That is a cinematic masterpiece. Let me tell you.
You don't worry, you've got your moment coming.
That's probably one of the most memed shots of the movie for sure.
Yeah, it is memed.
The internet absolutely loved that. I mean, people were replicating this at zoos, in hospitals. Like, it was really cool to see the internet's interaction with that scene. I wasn't expecting the internet to go nuts trying to replicate that.
I kind of feel bad. The wrecked rotunda is below the Jurassic Park 3 aviary. Now, Jack, the reason behind this, we came to this conclusion because the JP3 aviary is a top 5 shot. It is, right? Probably. And this is also probably a top 5 shot. But there's a lot to do with this scene that's made it jaw-dropping and emotionally impactful. These are fighting for their lives against this raptor. And they think that
it's hard to compare to. Like, if I had to compare the two scenes, I would definitely put that scene in cinematic masterpiece.
We can change it. We
can throw it up there. It's just so hard to compare. Like, we're going through.
We'll see how the cinematic.
We're going through all the scenes in Jurassic Park, and it's stacking up the scenes. It's so hard.
Yeah. We have a moment at the end where we go, "Are we happy with our decisions?"
Okay.
And we can change if we like.
Yeah.
This scene's entertaining.
Yeah, it is very entertaining.
This scene is just here to be entertaining.
Yeah, you kind of meet Chris Pratt. He's got that almost like a cocky arrogance to it. Hey, don't give me that S word. And all that sort of sign of it. You've got Hoskins. He's like entertaining. You
also have Jack Horner in that scene too.
Yeah. Good old Jack. Jackie legs.
It was fun having Jack around on set. Because it was hot days. We basically, we're there all day, like sun up to sundown, and we're spending most of it in like this little tent. Basically, it's like this closed off white tent, where it was me, Vincent, Jack, Chris, and Omar all day long. Like, for hours. We were probably in that little tent for like 8 hours a day. So when you're just hanging out with people for 8 hours a day, sitting, waiting, you burn through every single topic. And not for a single moment were any of us bored, because Jack was always there to tell us about the history of our planet and every single, like, he will go on about rocks for a very long time. Like, you think that dirt is not an interesting topic until Jack is talking about dirt. And then it becomes absolutely fascinating.
And you actually go, and when you're sitting there listening to him talk, you go, actually, dirt is amazing.
Yeah. Let me tell you kids about dirt.
Yeah. No, Jack's great. It's just, he's so your typical, like, school teacher, isn't he, basically? But
yeah,
like that is that old bloke.
Quintessential professor.
Exactly that. And he is just so funny.
Right. Let's move on to this Indominus Rex breakout scene. It's up there for me. The music, the drama, the tension, the quite horrific chomp on that guy and ripped. You've got,
Oh, the chomp was a cool scene.
The fact that it hit itself.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, we've got a bit of Steve, this might be a good one to have the poll on. There's a lot of split opinions on this one.
Okay.
Yeah, it's somewhere between entertaining and jaw-dropping.
I'm going to go with jaw-dropping. This one.
Right, what do I class as?
Seeing that thing
one of
escape.
the coolest things about that shot. So it's, the Indominus Rex is all CGI. From a technical perspective, ILM did a really great job on, like, the claws coming down into the dirt right beside the truck that Chris is underneath.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, that was very realistic. For that to all be CGI, the level of detail that went into that, like the cloud of dust coming up, the movement of rocks, just the physics behind that shot were really cutting edge.
Yeah, it was like edgiest seat when watching that in the cinema.
Yeah. It's like, for me, I have two perspectives. I have how is this shot in terms of an audience cinematically? And then there's the cinematic and technical aspects. And I kind of have to separate them, because there are some things that are just technical masterpieces, but a scene could be just, cool or interesting. Like the paddock, when they're at the Indominus Rex paddock, just looking out into the dense greenery. From a cinematic perspective, that's incredibly well done. So is it a masterpiece, like, in cinema?
What's stopping this from being a masterpiece then? Like, what's stopping it from being it? Like, what does it need to add to make it one?
I don't know. I think it's very well done.
Mm.
In terms of story, it pushes story. It does everything it's supposed to. I would put it between jaw-dropping and entertaining, though.
Okay.
It kind of falls under all three categories, doesn't it?
Yeah. Our poll ended with jaw-dropping winning.
But the masterpiece was even in the option.
I wouldn't put it in cinematic masterpiece for that.
No.
It was good. Had they had more practical effects, I would have gone with cinematic masterpiece. Like, had they just blown apart the doors and done that practical, that would have been really cool.
Yeah.
But that was clearly CGI.
Yeah.
But there's only so much you can do with I think the quoted budget is 150 million.
Yeah. Crazy, isn't it? Absolutely. Do you know what's even more crazy? I reckon that new film's probably like doubled that almost.
Probably not. I wouldn't.
Probably got to be over 250, and it's got to be 250, I reckon.
It's hard to comment. So, like, I know the quoted number of what it says on IMDb, and then you learn how much things end up actually costing. So, know that the quoted numbers and actual numbers that get spent are different. Sometimes there's costs that go into pre-production, your actual production costs, post-production, and then marketing. Generally speaking, when it comes to marketing a project like that, whatever the budget is, take that same budget, and that's probably how much a lot of bigger films like that will spend on marketing. For legal reasons, crazy. I know absolutely none of that.
Right,
but it's an astounding amount of money that gets spent on major films.
Yeah, it's just crazy, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Right, so, Steve, your favourite scene, probably?
Yeah, it's one of my favourite scenes.
That's a cool shot.
Yeah, purely because the Ankylosaurus is my favourite dinosaur.
I'd put that in jaw-dropping for me.
Yeah, I'm happy with jaw-dropping.
I like the trees, too. I think that they did a really good job. It's under tree cover, but it's a little bit spread out. The dinosaurs have breathing room.
Mm.
The way that the set design is done, whether it's a mix of practical and CGI, I couldn't even tell you what's what. But I think that it's a well-designed layout cinematically.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to know how they did the layering for this shot, because obviously we know that the gyrosphere glass is CG.
Yeah,
but that's clearly the boys in the thing there.
Yeah. Also, the tail. So you have a little bit of, I think, tree trunk on the left, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Bottom left. Underneath, you have the tail coming up to the right side. You have the tree at the top of the frame. You have the gyrosphere at the center, and then the Ankylosaurus is on the left. From a cinema perspective, you want to fill this shot without something feel too dominating. And this is a really good job of filling the shot entirely without being distracting.
Like, what was your initial reaction when seeing this? Was you just like, "Oh, that was that was just cool to watch"?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
So it's got to be entertaining, hasn't it?
Yeah, it's entertaining. Yeah, for sure.
Right. This looks like it could be in Central Park. It does.
Yeah.
It does. Especially like at fall time.
Mm-hmm.
Right, next scene is the ACU hunting the Indominus.
Entertaining.
Yeah. Yeah, it was very entertaining scene.
I think it could have been more epic.
It can camouflage.
Yeah. Hearing, like, I like when they go back to the control room and you can hear like all the deaths over the
that was cool. I liked when we weren't seeing the actual action more than the action itself.
Yeah,
I thought that was more interesting cinematically.
Yeah, I think the only thing that let it down a little bit was the heart rate monitors on the guys do not change at all. From hunting this thing to then fighting this thing is still just a level heartbeat.
Look, that's how some of those guys are.
Yeah, those guys are calm.
Yep. They keep it cool under pressure.
Yeah.
Those are tier 1 operators there.
Right. So we've got this really important scene regarding, Wu and Masrani here, where they're kind of discussing what he made. This is the first time we kind of see Henry Wu in a different way.
Mm-hmm.
Like Masrani, we thought he was the reason why we made the Indominus, but even he in this scene is kind of shocked about the situation.
Mm-hmm.
It can camouflage, Henry. and like he's learning stuff like that this animal had, almost a Frankenstein, you know. So it is an entertaining shot, but I don't think you're meant to be entertained at this moment. I think you're meant to be kind of emotionally, you know, almost stopped in your tracks. So this
it's an important shot.
It could
it's
become
impactful.
Emotionally
it's
impactful.
Definitely impactful. Yeah,
it's very well done, and you kind of learn a bit of the
it's
lore.
Some of the most, I would say, quotable dialogue of the film too.
Yeah. To a canary, a cat is a monster.
Yeah, the back and forth conversation was really good.
You just learn a lot about the dark side of Jurassic World just in this, don't you?
It's excellent world building.
Yeah,
definitely, 100%. So we've got Masrani's helicopter crash after the Indominus releases the Pteranodons. What do you think?
Jaw dropping. I did enjoy it.
Between entertaining and jaw dropping.
Yeah,
there was some cool shots. Obviously, at the helicopter.
It was very fast paced from Masrani getting into the helicopter, loading it up with the guns, and firing at the Indominus, and then crashing into the Avery.
I thought it was definitely it was unexpected.
Yeah.
Especially it crashing, the helicopter crashing through and exploding. I thought that was a cool shot.
And the bloke getting stabbed by the Pteranodon.
That really kicked off kind of I would say the final act of the film.
Seems quite torn in the chat. Who went for poll? I'm kind of in between. It is jaw dropping. It was an epically scaled shot, wasn't it? You know, that zoomed out shot of the Pteranodon aviary and the helicopter in the background.
It was an epic shot. I don't know if I would put it in jaw dropping.
No, I'll be happy with entertaining.
Long time coming as well. Indeed. Indeed, Jack. Indeed. So we are now coming to approach the Zara death scene.
That was very entertaining.
It was very right. The death was entertaining. The scene was entertaining. But regarding, just to play devil's advocate, because I could definitely put it in entertaining, the fact that the way she died was jaw-dropping. Jack beat me to it. The fact of the way... Oh, where is he? There we go. Oh,
I'm back.
The fact of the way that she died was quite jaw-dropping. It was very different to anything we've seen. It was very traumatic for her, and I love it. It was just everything about the scene. Was it a masterpiece? Was it a masterpiece? Is it one of the most talked about moments in Jurassic franchise? Is it the most controversial moment?
We did get Jimmy Buffett.
You get Jimmy Buffett.
Oh God, is that in there?
Yeah.
Oh.
So you get Jimmy Buffett.
I didn't know how far back we were going in with that shot.
Yeah,
I didn't know if that was just
the moment the Pteranodons attack. From the moment they attacked to the Mosasaurus eating her.
Jimmy Buffett, that's one of the most iconic shots of the whole franchise.
Yeah, that was memed so much over the internet.
If you just showed Jimmy Buffett, this is cool. This is entertaining. I have a lot of fun with this whole sequence, the death sequence here. But had the frame been Jimmy Buffett, I would have just immediately said cinematic masterpiece.
Yeah, you put a poll out of entertaining cinematic masterpiece.
We also, I think we have to include. There's a lot in that shot that we can talk about, not just
definitely
this scale of it. The set that was built, I've never seen a set like that before. I mean, to be able to walk around that stage, it was massive. That was one of the most in terms of my whole career, the most insane thing to be able to walk around.
Yeah.
Because I got
Did
to
it feel
walk
like
around
you was
that
at
set
Disney World?
when there were 1,000 people walking around in Jurassic Park merchandise and everything. It was me and my stunt double, Patrick Steinberg. It was insane.
Out of interest, you know, when you was on set walking around, did you get to keep the stuff? Was it like a paid place, or was it all free and you just sort of picked it up and walked around? Like, was you entitled?
Oh yeah, I mean that's a hot set. Anything on there is a hot set. So nobody's really allowed to take anything. You know, there are a couple things that, you know, I can say, hey, props. Anyway, I can get some of those wristbands. Cool, thanks. So I've got a few of the wristbands that were used in filming. But outside of that, I didn't keep anything from production. They need all of that stuff, and the things that they had, it was really cool. They had the Jurassic traders, the shops, and I've talked about this several times. So anybody who's seen any of the interviews I've done, I always have to mention the licensed products that were on set were so much fun to see. The geometric shirts that I'm only now just seeing with the release of the new Jurassic World ride. I'm only seeing the style that they had on set now being put out.
It's crazy.
The Jurassic World peeps we didn't see, I think, until Easter after the filming or something like that. So some of the things that I saw on set, there's like still have been holding back on and releasing slowly. So that's cool to me.
Yeah.
I'd love to have gone. Would have loved to have gone as an extra. What an amazing opportunity. So where are we going?
I'm still laughing at the fact that I'm picturing now Jimmy Buffett being picked up by the Pteranodons, but still holding on to his two little margaritas.
Absolutely iconic. He performed at the premiere, the Los Angeles premiere.
Steve, what's
that was pretty cool. Chris got up and was singing at some point.
Yeah.
And the polls have said jaw dropping.
Right.
Yeah, jaw dropping.
Jaw dropping it is, then, guys. Jaw dropping it is. So next scene, the man.
Oof.
It's got to go cinematic masterpiece for shits and gigs, isn't it?
Look, it's got to. That is iconic.
Look at that shot, man. Do you look at yourself and think, "Carl, look well young"?
I look old, truly. Like when we were filming, I look about the same age. If I'm not going to the gym, I look a lot younger. If I am, I look a lot older. Yeah. And I had been getting in shape a bit for that film. And now that I've gotten back to fencing, we'll see what that does. But it's interesting. I can see I'll go to the world premiere photos.
Yeah.
And where I was, going to the gym and really in shape. And I look older in those photos than my more recent photos. And we shot this like years ago at this point. So fortunately, yeah.
And ironically, one of the best moments in Jurassic World, it's what the entire plot has been built into. The release.
It's a fun scene. One of the coolest things about that shot, I mean, we used the Techno 50 crane for almost every single shot in that entire movie. That entire film was shot with the 50-foot crane. Even when I'm like inside the bars getting pulled aside with Omar, all shot on the crane. They would just take down walls and do absolutely everything to stick the crane in. Very little was done on a Steadicam. And so that shot was one of the only scenes where they really take full advantage of the crane in that movie. And I really love just being there. It was so cool to see how far back they made that set. So you have the motorcycles, the whole parade of vehicles, and then behind that you have the depth of the lighting behind and the buildings. It was really cool to be there. I mean, you can see some of we used them as practicals in the shot. A lot of the film lights.
Did that you can button see them. Make a noise?
Huh?
Did that button make a noise?
I don't remember. I was too focused on what I was doing. And for that...
Look at the focus as well. Look at the focus. Brilliant.
That shot for me was very like nerdy. And that's kind of what I wanted it to be. Because it's this character who's in way over his head.
Leon.
And he's got to put his big boots on. This is his moment. He's got to get it together and be confident and strong. And he's not, but he's trying. It's fun to convey.
By the way, did they use real pigs?
No, I don't think so. I don't remember seeing a pig on set. I should know this.
Yeah.
But I don't actually remember.
And Chris said, who played the pig?
Yeah.
Was it credited?
I honestly don't remember if we had a pig on set. There's so much going on set that the last thing I was paying attention to was whether or not there was a pig.
Good question, actually. Jack, that's a great question. Hold on, Jack, read that question out again, and we'll play that again at the end when we do a few questions, because I actually want to know some info on that, Colby, if you don't mind.
Yeah, sure.
Let's move on to this, and once we finish, we'll go straight on to them questions. Oh, so we've got last shot here is the Indominus Rex T-Rex fight. Then the Moser comes out and kills Indominus. That whole entire thing.
Oh, see, I'm putting this between cinematic masterpiece and jaw dropping.
Yeah, it's between those two for me.
Yeah,
it was a lot of fun. I wasn't expecting it.
Yeah,
that's not even one of the options.
Yeah,
Jack, come on, man.
I wasn't expecting.
Definitely could be.
Yeah,
and like when it comes to scripts, on this film, I wanted to know only the things my character needed to know, because I'd been waiting for this movie for 10 years. So I stayed I'm on set trying to stay away from spoilers because I don't want the movie spoiled for me.
Nah. I was exactly the same.
It was really hard to stay away from spoilers on that movie because there's so many fascinating things. But if I would, what are the things that I need to read from my character and learn from my character only? I learned a lot about dinosaurs, and I learned a lot about animals and animal handling. When I did my preparation and backstory and all of those things, which are, what the actor is responsible for. So that was what I focused on. But in terms of story stuff, I tried to stay fully away from that. Unfortunately, I did not know about this scene, and it was so much fun to see in theaters.
Yeah, I still remember. I was staying away from all spoilers. I think I turned Twitter, Instagram, everything off, completely silent. And the only thing I saw was somebody say that that Rexy dies, like the T-Rex dies in the last fight. And I was like, oh, I've just been spoiled. And I think at this point, James, you'd already seen it, hadn't you?
Yeah.
You saw it a little bit early. And
I saw it with Sam Phillips, didn't I?
Yeah. And you didn't want to give anything away, so you were just completely silent. And
to be fair, I was completely silent, but I was like this, Colby. Steve was next to me. I was like this.
Yeah.
It's like this, watching his reaction.
Yeah, but I was sitting there, and when the Indominus throws the T-Rex through the little trading center, I was thinking, oh, this is it. That person was right. The T-Rex is going to die. And then when the Raptor comes in, the music goes, and then just that scene right at the end when the mosasaur comes up and grabs it was just amazing. I did not expect any of that at all.
Yep. We can throw that in cinematic masterpiece.
Yeah.
Jack asked Colby, was your first viewing the LA premiere like he's was?
Yeah, it was. Yeah, there was a couple previewings I could have flown out to see, but I wanted to see this for the first time at the premiere. Yeah, and I'm glad I waited. There was a showing that I almost flew in while they were. Chris and Vincent were filming in Louisiana. They were doing Magnificent Seven, I think. And so they did a previewing in New Orleans that I could have gone to, and I didn't fly out for that. I was like, all right, I will see everybody at the premiere. I'll wait. I want to watch this for the first time in LA. And that was the right choice. 100% the right choice, because there's not a single theater in Louisiana that could have done that. Seeing that justice. For the first time, justice. Like, I'm so glad I waited.
Yeah, we went to one of the biggest cinemas. I think it's the biggest IMAX in England, isn't it?
Yeah, the BFI.
Waterloo.
Then that's a real IMAX.
Yeah.
It was brilliant as well, because the Waterloo station kitted out all of the turnstiles, the gates were all made like the Jurassic World theme. You had all the flags, and
they had a Jurassic Traders as well, where they were selling awesome. Jurassic World Lego
they did
game.
a really good job of that.
That's
really
so cool.
Good job. I guess it was a good consolation of not going to the premiere.
Yeah.
I hope they do something like that for Fallen Kingdom. But it's so
Dominion.
Good. Dominion. Okay, I've just realised we've forgotten one. By the way, I took it upon myself to put that in cinematic masterpiece. Do you agree?
Yeah, all agree.
Yeah,
okay,
absolutely.
I forgot a scene that I might have just skipped past by accident. That one, the Indominus Rex, the scene after your scene.
Yeah, it's entertaining.
Yeah,
entertaining.
It's a cool shot. Yeah.
It's not a cinematic masterpiece. It's not jaw-dropping.
No, it's just
it's just a fun, cool scene, isn't it? It's like one of those scenes. Like, again, you're going, "Oh, that was quality. Love that." So entertaining's the perfect mark. So we're moving on to Fallen Kingdom. So we will be back in about 10 seconds again. Bye-bye. Right. Welcome back to Fallen Kingdom, guys. We are on the final movie. It's crunch time. Probably the most visually best, I'd say. Visually best. Like, the CGI in this one is probably the best of the new films, anyway. I'd probably say this better than the best. I think it's the best CGI and cinematically. I think some of the shots in this are incredible.
Yeah, there were some really good ones.
Shots.
There was... I have varying opinions of some of the shots. This one, though, was awesome. I mean, that was at least jaw-dropping.
Yeah.
This was obviously a selling point for the movie. I love the shot.
Yeah, it's probably
like
the greatest.
Here you go, greatest opening scene in the entire franchise. If only the rest of the movie has this feel to it, cinematic masterpiece.
Yeah, I feel that way about the film.
I think I can agree with that.
Yeah,
I actually feel like that in this film. There's probably quite a few cinematic masterpieces. Just the fact that the way what's the cameraman, cinematographer, the way he shot it. Not Bayonne, obviously, but the way the aspect.
I don't know who the DP on that film was.
I can't remember. Can't remember who it was. but the whole scene's just so well put together, and it's now been added into Camp Cretaceous, which I thought was a really good nod.
What I liked was the about Fallen Kingdom with some of the horror elements.
Yeah, it's a lot darker, wasn't it?
And that's is the director of, was it Penny Dreadful, if I'm not mistaken?
It was what's his name?
It's J.A.
J.A. Bayona.
I always butcher his last name.
Yeah, no,
he's a good director.
Yeah, his element, and you can see he's got his sort of very dark, sort of almost gothic sort of feel to the film.
And I thought that was a really unique take for Jurassic.
Such a good shot, that as well.
Yeah.
Right, so we put that under cinematic masterpiece.
Okay, jaw dropping.
Really? See, I think this falls under both.
I thought this was.
Did we skip one?
Yeah, we skipped one.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. Okay. So, where do you want to place this one?
I'm gonna put in cinematic masterpiece. That's a great shot. The composition, the lighting.
You put it in emotional.
Oh yeah. We happy with that, everyone?
Yeah.
Happy with that. Apparently, he was originally going to direct Jurassic World, according to Jack. It should have been a very different movie, I bet.
Yeah.
I think I actually prefer Colin's direction, to be honest, than J.A.
Colin was a phenomenal choice for Jurassic World. I mean, he rewrote the script. He took the script that he was handed, that had 10 years of development, and was like, yeah, I think I can do a better job writing this. And, Steven's like, we've been working on this for 10 years. If you really think you can do a better job, have at it. And then he did. So...
Yeah, I like what J.A. Bayona brought to it.
Mm-hmm.
I felt like it needed it. Like it needed his. I feel like we got the best of both worlds because
he shoots almost everything shadow side. So like I want to count every single shadow side shot, whether it's his input or the cinematographer. Like the last shot, shadow side. This shot, shadow side.
Mm.
Yeah, never thought that before. I do like what he brought in. I love the fact that he brought the darker element in, the gothic tones. Some of the cinematography in this movie is just phenomenal. But I think what it is, there's just some moments where I just feel like he could have done with a bit more of Colin in it, in the way that the dialogue was, and I don't know. I do really like Fallen Kingdom, but it's just never my go-to movie, and I don't know why.
I couldn't tell you. Because there are a lot of elements that I really like about it.
Yeah, same. Like I love watching it. Like I love looking at it visually.
Mm-hmm.
But for entertainment value, I tend to go to Jurassic World more.
Yeah, and I think it's hard to make that story, which I felt needed to be told in order to get to where the next film plans to be. It's hard to do that super compelling.
Yeah, I think it'd be interesting to know how now Colin's back with a different writer, how this next film's going to be.
Yeah, I'm curious.
Yeah. So where are we going to place this bar scene?
Yeah,
it's okay.
It's there. It's just moving story along.
Yeah, it's a little bit of exposition in there, isn't there? So meh. Okay, that was a nice happy. Then we've got this.
I think this was cinematic.
You said jaw dropping.
Yeah.
Oh, that was like, fight.
Yeah. I don't know. Is that an actual frame from the shot?
No, I don't think it is.
Because that looks cropped. If I recall correctly,
I have cropped most of these to fit them in this, by the way.
If I recall correctly, this film is shot anamorphically. I don't remember, but I remember this distinctly being in relatively widescreen.
Yeah.
And I think that this film should have been shot in the same. It would have been proper to tell this film in the same aspect ratio as the original Jurassic Park, because of all the interior shots, the cage shots.
Yeah.
This shot, they were trying to get a lot of width in the frame.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that was the right choice.
I think the scene that was shot was literally just Chris Pratt with.
It's definitely an emotional shot.
Yeah, Chris Pratt, the volcano.
Yeah, I think what was a better shot from this sequence was at the from the boat at the very end.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I know what's coming.
You mean that one?
Yeah,
that one.
Yeah.
So that was to me that was a jaw-dropping shot.
So what this one was?
Yeah. That shot is almost entirely just cinema, you know. It was designed to be visually epic. That was the point of the shot.
Okay, so if it's visually epic, shouldn't it be a cinematic masterpiece?
Not necessarily. There are a lot of epic shots that aren't a cinematic masterpiece. Just for all the things that I just named, like anamorphic, I don't think it was proper to shoot that in the aspect ratio that they did.
Mm-hmm.
I think the frame should have been taller. And you're able to do that. When you shoot on IMAX these days, you have a very tall frame. If you're using the 70 millimeter IMAX, I don't know whether that film was shot digital or on film. I know that when we shot Jurassic World, we were shooting the close-ups 35 millimeter, and then the wides were shot 70 millimeter IMAX.
Yeah.
But when you have, try and get as much in the shot as you possibly can. And when you're filming on IMAX, real, you're able to. And I felt like that shooting anamorphically wasn't, it didn't give you the height of dinosaurs. And I think that the original Jurassic Park, the aspect ratio, was entirely about the height of the shot. The composition was about scale. And I think you lose that here.
Yeah, I feel like I'm not a huge fan of the aspect ratio that they used in this film. I hate the letterbox thing. Because
I like it when it's used properly. I don't think this is the right film for it. I think you want to have as much height as you can because the dinosaurs are so much bigger. When you shoot, something like this where you're shooting anamorphically, you're doing compression to get width, but it takes up so much screen space that unless what you're doing is cinematically very wide and important for it to be wide, I think it's the wrong choice.
So we happy with that one then? Jaw dropping.
Yeah, I'd put it in jaw dropping.
Righty ho. Next is.
See, that is I would put as cinematic masterpiece.
It's also very emotionally impactful, though.
Yeah.
Ooh.
That made if you could make people cry in a theater.
Yeah.
You've done your job.
It's gonna be that moment.
For me, it's there. I agree, Steve. I think it's emotionally impactful because it's trying to tell more than one story. It is a cinematic masterpiece because visually, it's stunning.
It's a shot people talked about.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
I can complain about
it because it's visually, it's emotionally impactful. That'd be an interesting one for the chat.
I was literally just starting that.
Yeah, we'll put that in the chat and then let people vote on that one. And we'll go and whatever they say, because I think we're both right on that. Definitely. But at the same time, I always found this one quite a frustrating scene because to me, I know I'm a human. If I had this lava, I would be jumping in the water to get away from it. And this brachiosaur could have swam. So for me, that kind of makes it a bit would it do that though? Would it just stand on its high legs? I don't know.
It's a tough one.
Yeah. sometimes you have to suspend disbelief. Right, got how many we got left? Oh, did I add that one? Yeah.
All right, so the voting is finished, and it's a tough one. It's 50-50, cinematic, emotional.
I don't have.
So we voted emotional twice, and then Colby said one. So emotional impactful it is.
All right, I'm back.
Right. The wrecks inside the trailer.
It was entertaining.
Definitely.
Yeah, entertaining.
Yeah. That whole scene's brilliant, though. I like the closeness and how it was all shot.
Yeah.
God. Time-wise, I've got another
on it.
15, 20 minutes.
Okay. So we'll speed these through. So, yeah, entertaining.
No problem. Entertaining. Okay, so the next one is blue on the operating table.
So this was the animatronic we saw, wasn't it?
Yeah, quite emotional, wasn't it? Because we thought she was going to die.
Emotional.
Yeah. Heartwarming.
Heartwarming. Oh, that's a true.
Heartwarming. That's a good place for it.
Yeah. Then we got. We're on speed go, right? This is the whole scene from the minute this bit happens, and then the Stiggy breaking in and going absolute mad and bashing.
Really hard to multitask on my phone.
Yeah. For me, this was a complete entertaining scene.
Yeah. Yeah, I would agree with full entertaining.
My phone does not like getting messages.
Colby, would you say this one's an entertaining scene where the Stiggy bashes everyone all over the place?
Yeah, that was fun.
Yeah.
Quite fun to watch that one, wasn't it? Entertaining. And then we have this epic shot of the Indoraptor on the roof.
I want to go back through the other ones that we already went through. Because as I had noted, like all shadow side, I want to see if I didn't even notice whether they were shot shadow side.
What ones do you want to look at quick?
Yeah. Well, that's shadow side for sure. That's cool. I think that yep, shadow side there. Shadow side, shadow side. Shadow side. I think it's artistically it was the right decision. That to me, that's one of the coolest. It's such a gothic shot.
Yeah, for me, this belongs at the top.
Yeah, it's at the very least jaw dropping. For the movie, that was one of the best parts of the movie.
Stalking moments. It's just
Like especially like creeping around from the outside, the windows, all of that just screamed horror.
Yeah.
Like monster movie.
Can I just edit something?
So cool. Yeah.
Sorry, we put this under heartwarming, but for me, it was actually more traumatic. Where is it? Where's it gone? Heartwarming. This blue scene. I actually thought she was close to dying. So would it be more emotional?
Yeah, could
or not?
Yeah, but I wouldn't put it in the jaw-dropping territory. I think it's more just.
Yeah, but you got to kind of separate them too. It's either that or that, rather than that and that.
I'd still keep it.
Oh, right.
Yeah, leave
it there. Right. So, Indoraptor in the bedroom.
That was really cool. I mean, that was an awesome shot.
Yeah. It's entertaining. Wouldn't put it as far as jaw dropping.
No. I had a lot of fun.
Was the moment it came down from the roof and did the little. Or should use this?
So cool. This is where you really see the director's style coming out. And I just wish there was more of this in the movie. I wish there was more of that kind of cat and mouse element.
Yeah. Entertaining?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. And then
there was a lot of focus in the movie on like the the trafficking of animals, essentially.
Yeah.
And this scene for me is like more of not just this exact shot. I'm talking from the moment Jeff Goldblum starts doing the narration to the end credits. That whole montage.
That was pretty jaw-dropping, especially at the very end with Blue.
Yeah.
That whole sequence was really cool. I'd put it in jaw-dropping.
Yeah, I'll agree with that.
Okie dokie. Jaw-dropping. Jack's just made me want to cry.
The Maisie clone reveal.
No, I didn't. There's lots of scenes I didn't put in because we didn't have endless amount of hours with Colby, so we wanted to sort of flash through. I reckon if we could pick another probably 10 shots in the movies between all of them, that probably would be one of them, along with maybe the raptor scene at the beginning of Jurassic Park. The raptor eating the cow.
Yeah,
that would have been another cool scene to add. But yeah, that would be pretty much it. So where did we put that last one? Sorry, where did we put that under? Jaw-dropping. Yeah. Jaw-dropping moment. Yeah, I'd say so. Right, guys, we have got about 15 minutes left, if Colby don't mind. And we're just going to ask some question time for everybody that wants to join in. You enjoyed that, Colby, didn't you?
Bravo.
That was
cinematic, masterful.
Steve made that
right there. That.
Okay, before we start with Chris's one, Jack said a question earlier on, which I thought was a really good question. I've got to try and find it now.
Okay, while you're looking, I've just got one question. It's going to be a video because it's actually my boy, my son who's 3 years old, wanting to ask you a question, but he's now in bed. So I'll just play the video.
Colby, was the raptor scary?
Was the raptor scary? Do you think they were scary?
No.
No? Right, let's say bye.
Bye.
Okay, he asked, were the raptors scary when you were filming?
See, the raptors to me were very fun and entertaining people, and they had names that were different from, Echo, Blue, and Charlie. And
yeah.
I had a great time with the raptors. Jimmy, James.
Seeing many leotards probably did have the same effect, did it?
Yeah, very different. They were a lot of fun. It was entertaining, and I was very fortunate to be able to have, I think it was brilliant directing on Colin's part to have hired the dancers as our eye lines. We had something physical to work with.
Yeah,
there weren't the animatronics. Obviously, they went CGI on the raptors, but to have something physical and representative of them was very helpful, because we're not just staring in a blue screen or green screen. We had something to interact with, and as an actor, it's very helpful.
Yeah.
So no, they weren't scary, but they were very helpful.
Yeah.
Okay, question from Jack. Did you shoot anything that didn't make it into the film?
Yes. And I would have loved to have had this make the cut. There was I'm in Rhode Island right now. I'm originally from Rhode Island. And when I kind of figured out the backstory for my character, I had written just pages of backstory. Maybe one day I'll release those. Where my character is from Rhode Island and, staying at a farm. And there is so much from my childhood that I wrote into it. Working at Roger Williams Park Zoo, just a zoo up in Rhode Island for anyone familiar with the area. Working with penguins and like the most harmless creatures in the world. That's what I wrote for my character as his backstory. Like dinosaurs was not even a question. He wanted to go to Jurassic World to work with the baby triceratops and all the cute, harmless little things. And that's not what he got stuck with.
No.
So that, to me, I had so much fun coming up with the character. There's this very like innocent, childlike character, and thrown in. I pulled a lot from the kids in Jurassic Park, Lex and Tim, for my character, because it's important for me to find things that I know that the audience really resonates with, and I know that they really resonate with the kids. So that was something that when I looked in forums, like, what is it that people want to see in the new films? That was something that they wanted. They wanted some of that innocence. And so that's what I tried to incorporate in my character when I wrote this backstory. One of the things that got cut out was me and Chris. We had a couple some additional dialogue that was cut out where, he's lifting me up and asking me where I'm from. And my response was Rhode Island, because that's just kind of how I had developed the backstory for my character. And Colin was, nice enough. He had asked, like, Chris, like, hey, why don't you ask, where he's from or whatever. And we just had this introduction to me and Chris's character. And Colin was like, I just say like Montana or whatever. And I was like, well, can I say Rhode Island? Just because that's what I had put into the pages of backstory. And we were also shooting a lot of behind the scenes footage that never got released. That was a lot of fun. We did in character behind the scenes, where I was working with the behind the scenes producers. And it was like interviewing my character. And it never got released. We probably shot a half hour of footage of me walking around the paddock, going about like, another day at InGen.
Yeah.
And that was really cool. I don't know why that didn't occur to me, because I always consider that as behind the scenes footage and not official like story filming.
Yeah.
But we had shot probably a half hour of me in character interacting with the world around me. So like walking around, going up to just some of the extras that weren't expecting it. And there was some people that I'd gotten talking to, and I was like, throwing stuff at them, and it was a lot of fun. We were just walking around set while the behind the scenes crew was filming me. It was like we were doing Discovery Channel at Jurassic World. Those are the type of scenes that we were shooting, and that never got released, and it was a lot of fun. Like, I hope one day that footage is somewhere and can get released, because it was really cool. We did a little skit where I'm on the rooftop getting interviewed about what it's like working at Jurassic World, and I kind of slip on I go to put my hand on the railing, and I just kind of miss it, kind of catch myself as like a foreshadow of my clumsiness to come. So that was really cool. That footage needs to. I'd love to see that.
They need to do something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love like they used to do in the old days. They had the post-production and pre-production videos, like Jurassic Park behind the scenes thing. We never got anything really like that, did we?
No.
And I really hope that for Dominion that we get that on the Blu-ray, that extra like 4 hours, 5 hours of just extra just stuff for the fans. This is meant to be a celebration, and I want that.
There's so much footage. There was so much behind the scenes that was shot for Jurassic World. I mean, literally, just there's like a half hour of my character just walking around doing whatever. We had a lot of time to kill, and it was cool that the producers gave us that flexibility, even if it never got released. It's a lot of fun for us to be able to have that interaction. It helps with us as characters to learn our environment better. It's something you just don't see as much on most productions. There's not a whole lot of behind the scenes that goes into most films. And I've worked on a lot of films at this point. Like, it's been 11 years that I've worked, and Jurassic World and Beautiful Creatures were the two that had the most behind the scenes footage. Rightfully so. Beautiful Creatures had unbelievable production value. Like, the sets were jaw-dropping. There was a lot to film on that. And it's kind of a shame that that film was edited and micromanaged in a way that the director didn't want. We had Richard LaGravenese as our director on that. He was fantastic. Phenomenal director. But, you know, sometimes movies don't go the way you want them to, and it's not the fault of the director. You know, sometimes you just have producer oversight or whatever it is, and that was the case with Beautiful Creatures, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But
Jurassic Room said, who's Colby's favorite raptor?
You know, Echo and I always have this just kind of love-hate thing going on. I think Echo's got a lot of really great personality traits. It's just the whole trying to eat me factor is just not one of them. And I really think we could could have got along better. But just couldn't get over the fact that I looked like a tasty snack from time to time.
Yeah.
I think Matty says, do you think that the close-up of the raptors would have been better if they had been CGI?
In Jurassic World?
Yeah, I think
if
he's
they had been CGI or hadn't been.
I think he meant hadn't been, or
because they were CGI,
or he hadn't. No, he meant as in like would have been better if they'd been animatronics, or it could have been they could have had nothing there instead of men in morph suits.
Stick with a tennis ball.
Yeah.
So what they used were these little heads that they CGI'd on top of.
Yeah.
There were these molds, these raptor molds that they had for heads. For the actors playing them, they had these bicycle helmets that had the raptor like half a head on top. And then for when they showed them inside the cages, they had like the little head harnesses where we saw the cameras getting strapped to them. Those were like this mold. So it wasn't animatronic. I think it would have been cool to have had those animatronic, but it would have been obviously a more significant feat to do that.
Yeah.
And on top of that, it would have maybe led to some inconsistencies between CGI and animatronic, because it's very hard to match practical and CGI. And I think that was probably the reason why they went CGI, was because it's just very difficult to match between the two. Yeah. And CGI becomes more noticeable as you introduce practicals, because now instead of just doing the CGI, you have to look at the practicals that you're creating and then recreate the practicals, as opposed to just creating something new and have it be fully digital, which they were playing with a lot of new technology and processing, and ray tracing was becoming more of a thing at that time. So I believe that's why they went fully CGI in that. I think it would have been cool for us as actors, obviously, to interact with more animatronics.
Yeah. Okay, I think the last question we got is, did you take anything from the Jurassic World set?
The best thing I took were the memories. No, I didn't take anything. I have one photo that I took when we were just in the tent, just sitting in my chair, and then maybe a couple in my trailer, just because I was like making sure that the makeup was right. And that was it. I took another photo of the back of my hair because my hair is, as you can see, long and has been for quite a while. So every day on set, they had to French braid my hair to put it in the hat, and then they shaved the back of it to make it look like I had short hair. So I definitely made sure I had a photo with like just the parades that they did. It's just
You'll have to post a picture of that.
Yeah,
yeah. If you must have that,
Have you?
I want to see it.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I posted it somewhere. I don't know if I ever posted it on my. I'm pretty sure I posted it once on my Instagram, but a long time ago. Well, I'll have to post it on my story one of these days. But yeah, outside of that, the only props that I have from filming were I've got some of the wristbands that were given to me.
Nice.
Yeah.
That was the last question, but Jack from Terradome, who, like I said, is the consultant. He said, could you send him the notes on your character so we can probably put it in the backstory of Jurassic World viral marketing?
Yeah. That they're in storage right now. I have no idea getting those out would be a nightmare. But next time I'm happen to be where my storage unit is, I'll try and dig those out. You know, they're all handwritten, and the notes are so much fun. The production has copies of them.
Yeah.
We were doing the behind the scenes stuff, and so I had given them to the behind the scenes producer because I was like, hey, this is what I'm working with, and I can just go off of this stuff and just start just improving. We were just improving all these scenes that we were shooting. And so I gave them my hard copies, which were all just handwritten on loose leaf paper. Where I had like a spiral bound notebook, and I wrote in those and pulled them out of that notebook and handed it to them. And then within like a half hour or an hour of me handing that to them, there's like 8 photocopies being passed around on set.
Crazy.
Obviously, they were very entertained by the backstory stuff that I had written because it was it was definitely, I'd done it for both backstory and also to be comedic contrast of the character being fully out of his depth. And that was the backstory I had written, was like wrong, just should not be here, totally in over his head. And I knew that that's what the character was, so that's the backstory that I wrote. Obviously, everybody was entertained by that.
Yeah.
So production probably has some copies of it somewhere, but I'll make sure that next time I'm in Jacksonville, I pull those out of my storage. I've got a big binder. Whenever I work on a production, I always keep a binder of all of my notes, anything that I think I might need. I had printed out probably 50 pages of information about various dinosaurs to just try and understand, like, if there's a piece of information that my character might know, I wanted to know it. And that's how I am on every project that I work on. So I get very involved in the research for my character, as I think a lot of actors are. But for that one, I keep my binders with notes for everything. But I've got that one, and in it is my the government ID, and then it's like all ebb-tied on the front, and then the inside is all just dinosaur notes, character notes.
Jack's like sitting there thinking, please give this to me.
Information that I would know, stuff about InGen. Like, if that's my employer, I have to know that stuff. Oh, awesome.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
Chris has found it.
Yeah, love that.
Every single day.
You now realise every time I watch that film now, I am picturing this hairstyle underneath Leon's head.
Oh, yeah. A lot of work went into making sure that hat fit perfect.
It's very Princess Leia-like, isn't it?
We tried on, and then I had to go like for a couple different fittings to make sure that the hat was perfect. So that way there was no weird bumps in the head. They tailored it to a T, and then they made duplicates. Same for my.
I love that.
Oh,
wow. Well, I think that's a good way to finish, Steve.
I think that is, yeah.
We'll leave on that bombshell.
Colby Leia.
Love that.
Thank you for having me.
Help me, Obi Kenobi.
Right.
Obi-Wan Colby.
Yeah.
Anyway, right. Thank you
Again.
very much. It's been an absolute pleasure having you on.
Thanks
for doing that again, mate.
It's such a pleasure to be on the show.
Did you enjoy it?
Yeah.
More importantly,
Absolutely.
good stuff.
Every time.
Good man. Thank you very much. I was going to say, where can people find you on socials?
At Colby Boothman, Twitter, Instagram, and so if anybody has questions, I might not be able to answer it immediately, but I always try to read everything. I always try to answer everything. That's something that's super important to me. I grew up with these movies. That fan base is super important, and none of us would be able to do the things that we do without that. So we owe it all to the fans, and no matter what I'm working on, that's always who I'm working for at the end of the day. So
yeah.
Well,
beautiful.
Don't forget to like and subscribe, guys. Please help the channel out a lot.
And if you like music, go check out my YouTube channel where I've got a few of my DJ sets, because that's what I'm very involved in.
What's your YouTube channel? Is it literally Colby Boothman?
Colby Boothman, yeah.
Yeah, we'll drop a link in the description below.
I've got like 3. If you like anime, I have my most recent one was for a VR chat music festival called Slyfest.
Nice.
And that one, my entire DJ set is cut to anime, and some Star Wars stuff in there because I have to. I've got to
rep. Be done.
This film when I can. But yeah, definitely check that out. That's something that means a lot to me. So I always appreciate when people go and look at the music work that I do, because I'm around. I'll play different clubs, different events. So yeah, that's something I really enjoy.
Excellent. Colby, you do realize before you go, you have to say life finds a way. Life will find a way when we say only one thing left to say. It's just the rule of being on the channel.
Okay.
All right. So guys, only one thing left to say. Life
will find a
way. See you later.